1067, clear and open 1, Alpha 9.
1067 ground for Alpha 9er, taxi November Papa, and Tango, cross under 2 directions for that.
November Papa Tango, cross 2 directions, Alpha 9.
The 1585, you're going to cut the opposite direction on Yankee. They're going to Bravo 17. Line up. Back to the 31 center via Yankee. Tango, hold short runway 31 right, remain on frequency. Yankee Tango, hold short 31 right, and tell me on Yankee 1 center, 1785.
All right, pleasant. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board. Welcome on board. As we're in Panama this morning, and we're going to be heading over to Miami, Florida. Roughly, we're going to be using American Airlines, and our flight time should be approximately about 3 hours and 10 minutes. We're going to be cruising about about 35. I think it's 35. Sorry, correction. 36,000 feet, flight level 360. Our runway of choice today is going to be 03 right. We're going to be taking off a little bit to the west. Sorry, correction, to the east. And now we're going to start heading northwest towards to Miami, Florida. We're going to pass over the beautiful Cayman Islands and also central part of Cuba. Where we're going to start to make a descent over Key Largo, or actually make a descent over the Keys. And then once we make that descent, we're going to make our way into Florida. So, guys, just sit back, relax, and welcome aboard.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. How are you this morning?
Hi there, I'm fine, thanks. Ground to cockpit.
Great. We're just getting ready for departure, but if you need anything else, just give me a call.
Go ahead, thanks.
No problem.
Hi, Captain. Microphone check, please. You're loud and clear, 5 over 5. Okay, Captain. Radio check complete. We'll contact you once the ground vehicles arrive and we're ready to start loading. Roger. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi, Captain. Just a quick update to let you know that we've started loading. We'll contact you again once we're done. Roger. Hello.
Hi. Okay, I've spoken to security, and I'm told they'll be ready to send the passengers down to us in a few minutes.
Thanks a lot.
No problem at all.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. The passengers are ready to come on board. Are we okay to get started?
Yes, you can start boarding.
Great, I'll let the rest of the crew know, and we'll get started as soon as the passengers start arriving. It could be a few minutes, though. All stations, we're about to start boarding.
Please check your quarantine scripts folder.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi there, we're now refueling the aircraft and we'll let you know once it's completed. Roger. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi, Captain. Fueling has been completed. Roger. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi there. Just to let you know that we've started fueling the aircraft. We'll let you know as soon as it's completed. Roger. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi, Captain. Just to let you know that the aircraft is now fueled as requested. Roger.
Weather is not currently available for Cayman International. Arriving and departing run.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. While you're being seated, please remember that all mobile telephones and other portable electronic devices, such as CD players and laptop computers, must be turned off and stowed for departure. Thank you. Señoras y señores, bienvenidos a bordo. Mientras esté sentado, recuerde que todos los teléfonos móviles y otros dispositivos electrónicos portátiles, como reproductores de CD y computadoras portátiles, deben apagarse y guardarse para la salida. Gracias.
Loading has been completed. We're sending the load sheet up to you now. We're waiting for you to close up. Once the beacon light is switched on, we'll contact you to begin pushback. Roger.
Tower 886
Hello.
ready to copy
Hi, Captain.
IFR clearance.
Okay,
Aircraft
here's the
calling
load sheet
tower,
from
say
ground.
again with your call
I've
sign.
written the passenger count here, the crew count here. and
Tower
the total number of
American
souls,
886
not
ready to
including
copy
yourself,
IFR
here.
clearance.
Thanks a lot.
No problem at all.
Okay, give me a call once you're ready and we'll get underway.
No problem.
Tower American 886 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Aircraft calling tower, say again with your call sign.
Tower American 889 ready to copy IFR clearance.
American Air 889er is cleared to Kilo Mike India Alpha, fly the EGET-1 Alpha departure, with the AJITA transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 03 right. Climb to 6,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 3 minutes after departure. Approach on 123.3. Squawk 5405. American Air 889er is cleared to Kilo Mike India Alpha, fly the EGET-1 Alpha departure, with the AJITA transition, then as filed. Climb to 6,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 3 minutes after departure. Approach on 123.3. Squawk 5405. American Air 889er read back correct. Altimeter not currently available. Contact ground on 121.9 when ready to taxi. Good day.
Hello.
Hi, Captain.
Altimeter
Just
not
to let
currently
you know that everyone's
available.
on board.
Ground on
All right,
121.9
you can close the doors whenever you're
American
ready.
Air 889er.
Okay, I'll let the crew know, and we'll get closed up as soon as we can. All
Ground to
stations,
cockpit,
please close
call
doors.
acknowledge. Coming through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit, Tau is driving up.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Just a reminder, if you're using software to track your virtual airline flights, you might want to start it now if you haven't already. We're ready to disconnect. Thanks for the help. Pin straight ahead and we'll see you next time. Cabin crew, please arm doors.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Welcome to your American Airlines flight. On its way to one of our many destinations across the globe. Made possible by our dedicated team members, who all do it for one reason.
That's why your safety is so important to us. So let's go over some in-flight instructions so that we can get you safely on your way.
Tau connected and bypass being inserted. Release parking brake.
To buckle your seatbelt, insert the metal end into the buckle and pull the strap to tighten. To
Starting
open, lift the
pushback,
top
and
of
you
the
may
buckle.
start engine.
And remember, seatbelt should be fastened whenever you're
Tower
seated in
American
case of
889er
unexpected
ready for
turbulence.
pushback.
Now, make sure your seat is
American
upright.
Air
All
889er
larger electronic
pushback
devices are
approved.
put away, carry-ons are placed all the way under the seat in front of you, and your tray table is stowed. Larger carry-on luggage goes in the overhead bin. If you have a handheld device, please switch it to airplane mode now. If your electronic device falls into your seat, please do not adjust your seat and contact a crew member for assistance. U.S. law prohibits smoking, including e-cigarettes, at any time. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying smoke detectors in the lavatories may result in a fine. U.S. law requires all to comply with lighted and posted signs and crew member instructions. Now let's review the safety card in your seat pocket, which explains the safety features of this airplane, including the location and operation of exits and flotation devices. This aircraft is designed with escape path lighting on or near the floor. In the unlikely event of an evacuation, leave all carry-ons behind and follow the lights quickly and safely to the nearest exit. A sign will indicate you have reached your exit.
American 889er ready for engine start.
Take a moment to locate the nearest one. Keep in mind it may be behind you.
Engine start approved. American Air
To
889er.
use in the unlikely event of an emergency. In a water evacuation, the exit door slides in the front and back of the airplane may be detached and used for flotation. You'll find the exact location on your safety card. When directed to exit, jump onto the slide and move away from the airplane. If the cabin loses pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically. While remaining seated with your seatbelt fastened, pull down on the mask or the red streamer to start the flow of oxygen. Place the mask over your nose and mouth and put the elastic band over your head. Then pull the straps to tighten and breathe normally. Remember to always put your own mask on first before helping others. Know that oxygen is flowing even if the bag doesn't inflate. Life vests are located under, next to, or between your seat. For help locating them, see your safety card. To remove the vest, pull the tab or compartment handle to break the seal. If equipped with an elastic harness, remove the harness before opening the pouch. Remove the vest from the package like this. Put the vest over your head, wrap the strap around your waist. Attach the buckle and pull tight. Once outside, pull the tab to inflate your vest or blow into the red tube. In the water, a light on your vest will automatically illuminate. If necessary, an infant life vest will be distributed by a crew member. The safety card shows how to use it.
It's our honor to care for you on your journey. If you have any questions, please refer to the safety card or feel free to ask any of the cabin crew as they do their final cabin check. And as always, let us know if there's anything we can do to make your journey more enjoyable.
American Airlines. You are why we fly.
Operation complete. Set
Hello.
parking brake.
Hi, Captain. Everyone's seated and secured for takeoff.
Thanks.
Let me know when we're ready to take off, and I'll get the crew seated and secured.
You can take your seats now. We're almost ready.
No problem. All stations, takeoff positions, please.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Cameras saved.
Tower is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Tower American 889 ready for taxi.
American Air 889er taxi to runway 03 right via taxiways India. Hold short runway 03 right. Taxi to runway 03 right via taxiways India. Hold short runway 03 right. American Air 889er. American Air 889er contact tower on 118.1. Enjoy your morning. Tower on 118.1 American Air 889er.
Tower American 889 ready for departure.
American Air 889er cleared for takeoff, runway 03 right squawk 5405. Cleared for takeoff runway 03 right squawking 5405 American Air 889er.
80 knots. 100 knots. Positive rate, gear up.
American Air 889er climb to 14,000 feet, contact Panama, approach on 123.3, have a good one. Climb to 14,000 feet, approach on 123.3, American Air 889er.
American Air 889er, you are off course. Turn right heading 060 to return to course. Turn right heading 060, climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Turn right heading 060, contact Panama Center on 120.3. Have a good morning.
Heading 060, heading 060, climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Heading 060, center on 120.3. Take care, American Air 889er. Center, American Air 889er, climbing to 14,000 feet. American Air 889er, good morning. Radar contact.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Señorías, buenos días una vez más. You're now free to turn on your electronic devices. Ahora puede usar sus dispositivos electrónicos. Just a reminder to make sure that you keep your seatbelts fastened until the sign is turned off by the captain, at which point you will be allowed to move around the cabin. Solo un recordatorio para asegurarse de mantener los cinturones de seguridad abrochados hasta que el capitán apague la señal, momento en el que se le permitirá moverse por la cabina. In a few minutes, we will be starting one of our in-flight movies. If you require headphones, please contact a flight attendant, and we'll be happy to help. For those of you who brought your own, you can plug them into the armrest to the side of you. Tune to Channel 6 on the in-flight entertainment system. Thank you. En unos minutos comenzaremos una de nuestras películas a bordo. Si necesita auriculares, póngase en contacto con una azafata y estaremos encantados de ayudarle. Para aquellos de ustedes que trajeron los suyos, pueden enchufarlos en el reposabrazos a un lado de ustedes. Sintonice el canal 6 en el sistema de entretenimiento a bordo. Gracias. In a few minutes, we will be starting the in-flight drink service. If you could please ensure all aisles are clear and bags are placed in the overhead lockers, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. En pocos minutos estaremos comenzando el servicio de bebidas a bordo. Si pudiera, asegúrese de que todos los pasillos estén despejados y que las bolsas se coloquen en los casilleros superiores, eso sería muy apreciado. Gracias. Don't forget that if you need assistance for any reason, just press the button above your head, and a flight attendant will be with you as quickly as possible. No olvide que si necesita ayuda por cualquier motivo, simplemente presione el botón sobre su cabeza y una azafata estará con usted lo más rápido posible. And with that, I'll take the opportunity once again to wish you a pleasant flight, and I'll speak to you soon. Y con eso aprovecharé la oportunidad una vez más para desearle un vuelo agradable y hablaré con usted pronto. Thank you. Gracias. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, so you are now free to move around the cabin. However, for your safety, we do recommend that you remain seated with your belt fastened at all times during the flight. Thank you. Señorías, el capitán ha apagado la señal del cinturón de seguridad, lo que significa que usted es libre de moverse por la cabina. No obstante, le recordamos que por su seguridad, le recomendamos que permanezca sentado con el cinturón abrochado en todo momento en caso de turbulencias o cualquier otro incidente potencial que pueda ocurrir durante el vuelo.
American Air 889er, climb to flight level 220. Climb to flight level 220, American Air 889er. American Air 889er, resume navigation. Resume navigation, American Air 889er.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, we are about to start one of our in-flight movies. If you'd like to watch, please plug in your headphones and select channel 18 from your armrest remote. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the film. Estamos a punto de comenzar una de nuestras películas a bordo. Si quieres verlo, conecta los auriculares y selecciona el canal 18 del mando a distancia del reposabrazos. Gracias y espero que disfruten de la película.
American Air 889er, you are off course. Turn left heading 330 to return to course. Heading 330 American Air 889er. American Air 889er, climb to flight level 300. Climb to flight level 300 American Air 889er.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, we are about to serve our hot drinks menu. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position and clear any items from the aisle, thank you. Estamos a punto de servir nuestro menú de bebidas calientes. Asegúrese de que su mesa de bandeja esté en la posición hacia abajo y despeje cualquier artículo del pasillo, gracias.
American Air 889er climb to flight level 360. Climb to flight level 360 American Air 889er.
Good morning once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. We've reached our cruising flight level. We're making good progress towards our destination and expect to arrive on time as planned. Unless anything changes in the meantime, you'll next hear from me around the time we start our descent, so I'll leave you in the hands of our excellent cabin crew. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Captain. Would you like a drink? Tea, coffee, or water?
No, thank you.
No problem. Do give me a call if you change your mind, though.
Interested in a career? Causing some shortages.
Our first trailer load of trees would come in. These bins would be full with trees, various sizes, and you can see there are no trees here.
On New York's Long Island, Shamrock Christmas Tree Farm owner Joe Shipman says a major shipment of the most popular Fraser Christmas trees was canceled due to the shortage. And now, for the first time in 30 years, they'll have to take this holiday season off.
We didn't want to open just partial and have people come in and be disappointed. We thought the right decision was to close the farm this year, let the field get a little bit bigger, give us time to source some trees for next year.
But experts say there should still be plenty of options for you and your family.
There's nothing more frustrating to a farm or retail location than they don't have the inventory that they want or need for a season. However, it really is not the story nationwide, and we have really a good supply of trees.
And to drive home that point, Diane, here at Emmerich Christmas Tree Farm in Warwick, New York, they say they've got 20,000 Christmas trees spread out across the property. They are ready to go this year. And interestingly, they note that the demand for real Christmas trees has gone up. A lot of people wanting to wrap their presents under the real deal. Diane?
All right, Trevor Alton, Warwick, New York, thank you. And the internet is buzzing today after Taylor Swift swapped the lyrics to her song Karma, putting her rumored lover in the spotlight during her Eras tour in Argentina. Check it out.
Karma takes all my friends to the summit. Karma is the guy on the
So that was Karma is the guy on the Chiefs. She changed the lyrics. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce seemed just as surprised as the Swifties at the concert, covering his face with his hands. Then, of course, smiling and dancing. That's Taylor's dad next to him, cheering him on, by the way. After the show, fans captured Taylor on video walking off stage, then running into Kelce's arms and kissing him. The Chiefs had a bye week, so Kelce has plenty of time to get back to practice. Swift is headed to Rio de Janeiro on the next stop on her international tour. Oh, good for them. And thanks to you for streaming with us. I am Diane Macedo. ABC News Live is here for you anytime with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on various streaming services, the ABC News app, and of course, on abcnews.com. The news never stops. We'll be right back.
Start kissing each other, and then she tells me no. I get up on the beach and I kick her extremely hard in the face, and then I push her off into the sea.
A liar, a murderer, and a psychopath.
I was able to turn around now, and I had the power over him.
It angers me. It makes me just want to return the favor to him. I would love to return the favor to him.
Natalie Holloway, A Killer Confesses, the stunning new Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
When the announcer calls my name, the world almost fades away.
It's the biggest, it's the most famous dog event there is.
Welcome to Crufts, the world's greatest dog show.
The competition in dog dancing is very stiff.
Here, every dog has its day on the dance floor.
Dancing with my dog is the closest thing to magic.
Our winner, our Crufts 2023.
The Secret Life of Dancing Dogs. Streaming only on Hulu, November 17th.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
From America's #1 news source comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and it can customize to you and your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience what all the buzz is about. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
Reporting from the aftermath of the Maui fires, I'm Melissa Adon. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Hi, I'm Diane Macedo. Today on ABC News Live. First, Donald Trump Jr. returns to the stand today. How the defense is expected to make its case in the civil fraud trial that could alter the Trump family's real estate empire. New U.S. airstrikes in Syria. The military calls them retaliation for Iranian proxies' attacks on U.S. forces, where it happened and what the Pentagon is saying. The Gaza hospital in the crosshairs. Fighting is now focused around Gaza's main hospital as Israel claims Hamas has a command center underneath. How Hamas is responding as doctors say patients are paying the ultimate price. And Senator Tim Scott suspends his campaign for president, where the race stands and what his exit means for the others vying for the Republican nomination. We begin with Donald Trump Jr. returning to the witness stand in New York today. This time he's being called by defense lawyers as they begin their case in a civil fraud trial that could alter the family's real estate empire. ABC News senior investigative reporter Aaron Katursky is at that New York City courthouse, and let's talk to him and contributor and law professor at the University of Baltimore School of Law, Kim Whaley. Aaron, Donald Trump Jr. distanced himself from these financial statements at the center of the case when he testified 2 weeks ago. So what's he expected to say today?
I think he's going to reiterate that point, that he did in fact sign the statements of financial condition that inflated his father's net worth by as much as $2 billion, according to the New York Attorney General's office. But he did so on the advice of accountants. He said, we relied at the Trump Organization on highly paid accountants to do accounting. And so he says he can't possibly be blamed. And that's really the crux of the defense case, that there were experts guiding the process the whole time, and that no one was actually defrauded. The banks and insurance companies that the Attorney General's office says were duped never complained about the terms of the loan or that the Trumps didn't pay anything back, so there was no complainant, no victim, no injury.
And Kim, how does all the testimony we've heard so far from the Trumps and other witnesses, how did that all, do you think, set the stage for the defense to now make their case? What are you expecting to hear from them?
Well, just as Aaron indicated, they're going to say, we didn't know what our accountants were doing, and also that this is just business, that, you know, the idea of putting a number on a value for a piece of property, it's an art, it's not a science, and the banks were sort of in on it, and that was their responsibility to do their own due diligence. These arguments have largely already been what's left right now is disgorgement, or the amount of money that the Trump team will have to pay back. So I think Donald Trump's lawyers are mainly playing to the cameras and to the public, because the last round after he testified, he did quite a bit of fundraising off of it. So I think this isn't so much for the judge as it's for the larger picture of Donald Trump's defense in the public eye.
So Aaron, who else is expected to take the stand before this trial wraps up?
After Donald Trump Jr., we're expected to hear from one of former President Trump's tax attorneys, Sherry Dillon. We're also going to hear from a number of expert witnesses that the state tried to get disqualified, arguing they were going to rebut testimony that the state never even introduced. The judge did not buy it, allowed the defense experts, and they are expected, as Kim suggests, to bolster the defense argument that valuing real estate is more art than science. We heard that from former President Trump when he took the stand, that he can just look at a building, look at its location, look at its size, look at its potential, and understand the value, that he didn't need a formal assessment to determine what his properties were worth.
So, Kim, the judge has already decided that the Trumps used fraudulent documents to conduct business, or fraudulent numbers at least. So what is the defense fighting for now?
Fighting to not have to pay back up to $250 million in ill-gotten gains. And also, Letitia James, the Attorney General, has asked for essentially an injunction, an order barring Donald Trump from doing business in New York. And I think also they're trying to make a record for appeal. They're going to appeal all of this. And I think that's also the reason why the judge is rejecting the efforts to keep some testimony out, because he wants to give him a fair trial.
All right, senior investigative reporter Aaron Katursky at the New York City courthouse and contributor Kim Whaley, thank you both. Meanwhile, the U.S. launched a new round of airstrikes in Syria. The Pentagon says fighter jets hit a weapons storage facility and a headquarters used by Iranian-backed militants. This comes amid ongoing attacks against U.S. troops in the Middle East. Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz has the latest from Washington.
This is the third time the U.S. has hit targets in retaliation for attacks on U.S. forces in recent weeks. But this strike did go further than the first two. U.S. fighter jets hitting not only a weapons storage facility, just like those hit in the strikes in Syria last time, but this time sending missiles into a safe house the Pentagon says served as a headquarters for those Iranian-backed proxy groups, which means there were believed to be militia members inside when the missiles hit the facility. This is all part of the U.S. response to the dozens of attacks against American forces in Iraq and Syria. And while the injuries have been minor, the Pentagon says the Iranian-backed forces are trying to kill Americans. And if they try it again, says the Pentagon, there will be a further response. Diane?
All right, Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz, thank you.
American Air 889er resume navigation.
Soldiers killed in Friday's
resume
military
navigation. American
crash.
Air 889er.
The Department of Defense is identifying them as Chief Warrant Officer Stephen Dwyer, Chief Warrant Officer Shane Barnes, Staff Sergeant Tanner Groen, Sergeant Andrew Southard, and Sergeant Cade Wolf. The Pentagon confirms they were part of the Army Special Operations Aviations Unit in the Mediterranean and were standing by to evacuate Americans from the Middle East region. The military says their Black Hawk was conducting aerial refueling training when it had an in-flight emergency and went into the eastern Mediterranean Sea. The DoD says there are no indications the accident was caused by any enemy or hostile actions. Meanwhile, fighting is raging around Gaza's largest hospital. Israel claims the Al-Shifa hospital is being used as a shield for a Hamas complex, but hospital officials say patients are paying the price, telling ABC News they've had to allow some patients, including babies, to die. Foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burridge has the latest from Israel.
As Israeli forces push deeper into Gaza City, the Israeli military releasing these videos from tank-mounted cameras. Almost no building intact. With Israel claiming Hamas uses them as command hubs, Gaza City's main hospitals now in the crosshairs. Israeli troops in street battles nearby. Palestinian Red Crescent reporting Al-Quds hospital no longer operational. In recent days, doctors performing surgeries with flashlights there. And at Al-Shifa, Gaza's largest hospital, that heartbreak. The head of plastic surgery talking to our Matt Gutman, sending us these images, saying that because they have no electricity, they've had to remove 39 premature babies from their incubators, instead lining them up on a gurney in a heated room.
Everyone knows that they won't survive that much with this current situation. So we have the sad decision of just leaving them to die slowly because we can't supply them with electricity.
The doctor saying 3 of those babies passed away overnight. The Israeli military now saying it's ready to help transport the infants to safety.
Damas y caballeros.
The U.S. now
In a few minutes, we will be
increasingly
serving
concerned
food.
about the
If you
toll
could
on
please ensure
civilians.
all aisles are clear and bags are placed in the overhead lockers, that would be much appreciated.
Where innocent people,
Thank you.
helpless people,
Solo para hacerles
people
saber que acabamos de
seeking
comenzar a preparar el
medical care
servicio de
are caught in
alimentos y
the
comenzaremos el servicio en breve.
Israel keeping
Si
those
pudiera, asegúrese de que
humanitarian
todos los
corridors
pasillos
in
estén
Gaza
despejados
City
y que las
open.
bolsas se coloquen en los
Scores of
casilleros
thousands
superiores.
fleeing
Eso sería muy
southward.
apreciado.
Over the
Gracias.
weekend, this mother dragging her toddlers in car seats behind her for more than 5 hours as she headed south. And with their lives still hanging in the balance, 239 hostages still held in Gaza. President Biden speaking with Qatar's leader about the efforts to free them Sunday. 9 Americans among those missing. And over the weekend, tens of thousands of Israelis protesting, demanding more is done to free the hostages, including 3-year-old Abigail Moriden, who was orphaned when her parents were killed by Hamas on October 7th.
Well, Diane, many children are the most innocent victims on both sides of this war. The Israeli military this morning announcing another humanitarian pause today, so more civilians in Gaza can hopefully move south. But talking about the situation at the main hospital in Gaza, Al-Shifa, what's not clear is if the Israeli military tries to take control of that facility, how they can also successfully extract civilians safely when there's such fierce fighting around that area. Diane?
All right, Tom Sufi-Burge in Israel. Tom, thank you. And House Speaker Mike Johnson is pitching a plan to keep the government running ahead of Friday's deadline, but it doesn't include additional funding for Ukraine and Israel. The proposal is getting pushed back from both Republicans and Democrats. ABC News contributing political correspondent Rachel Bade joins me now from Capitol Hill with more. Rachel, a vote could come as soon as tomorrow on this. So how would House Speaker Johnson's two-step plan actually work?
Good morning, Diane. Just a quick note off the top. The government does run out in 5 days in terms of money, but I did make calls yesterday and heard from both parties that they think the chances of a shutdown are actually pretty low right now, and that's a good thing. And the reason why is because of not what's in Johnson's proposal, but actually what is not. There were a lot of House conservatives who were pushing the new speaker to include Republican priorities in this bill, potentially spending cuts. He actually ignored them and introduced a bill that extends current funding that was actually passed by Democrats when they controlled all of Washington. He is doing something a little bit unorthodox, though. This proposal would kick funding into early next year, and part of the government agencies would be funded until mid-January. The other half would actually be funded into February. So it's kind of an unorthodox two-step process here. However, compared to what a lot of Republicans were talking about initially in terms of demands from Democrats, this is rather good news for the Democratic Party right now.
Now, this will be the first major test for the newly elected House Speaker, but it puts him in a similar situation that cost former Speaker Kevin McCarthy the job. So what does Johnson have to do to avoid that same fate here?
Well, he has bought and built up a lot of goodwill with members here. He didn't have the sort of tense relationships with conservatives that Kevin McCarthy had. In the clean CR that McCarthy ended up passing was sort of the end of his political life when they ousted him as Speaker. We should note that this bill that they put forward, it might have been written by Republicans here in the House, but it really isn't a Republican bill. As I said, it extends Democratic priorities, and because of that, you're going to see a lot of conservatives who oppose this and who don't like it. We're already seeing some come out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see dozens. It's going to need Democratic support to pass. And Mike Johnson said as much to his members in a private conference call over the weekend when members were back in their districts. And I do think it's interesting to sort of watch the Democratic reaction here. You know, the White House initially came out and blasted this proposal and said that it would cause chaos and a potential shutdown. But Senate Democrats actually released a statement and guidance saying that they were glad that it didn't include certain Republican provisions that they could never swallow. So we're also watching today House Democratic leaders. We're going to be watching them very closely to see what they say. They've actually not weighed in. And I think that so far that's good news for Johnson, that they're not coming out and saying, no, we can't support this.
He is getting pushback from both parties on this proposal, though. What are the main sticking points?
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it. They don't love it, right? I mean, it's really unusual to see a government funding proposal. In fact, I've been up here for about 15 years. I've never seen one like this myself that includes two different funding deadlines. Half of the government funded until January, the other half funded until February. And the reasons conservatives want to do that, Mike Johnson wanted to do that, was to avoid this sort of Christmas time crunch where they sort of try to get everything done before the holidays and move quickly, and they don't like what they end up passing. And he thinks that if they have two deadlines, Republicans will have two bites at the apple in terms of negotiating. And Democrats don't love that. I mean, Chris Murphy, a Senate Democrat from Connecticut, he was on Meet the Press yesterday, and he talked about how this is not something he would want to do. But then when you look at the actual proposal, he said he's open to it because of what's actually in the bill, even if he doesn't love the process, Diane.
All right, ABC News contributing political correspondent Rachel Bade on the Hill. Rachel, thank you. And Republican Senator Tim Scott says he's suspending his campaign for president. Scott barely made the cut for the last Republican debate in Miami and has been lingering in the single digits in national polls. Let's bring in Galen Druk from ABC's 538 for more on what this means for the primary race. So, Galen, how surprising is Senator Scott's departure, and who benefits from this?
I think that the timing and manner in which he dropped out of the race might have been surprising. There's some reporting that folks on his team were surprised themselves, but the fact of his departure is not a surprise. It was clear, especially after the last debate, that he was having difficulty breaking through and gaining traction in the polls. In terms of who it benefits, I think there are a couple of ways to look at it. One is from a polling perspective, and the other is from a donor perspective. From a polling perspective, I would guess it would be Nikki Haley, and that's because they share more in terms of manner and style of campaigning. You know, being a little more sort of warm, happy warrior style campaigners than, say, a DeSantis or a Donald Trump. In terms of donors, I would say maybe also Nikki Haley, because, you know, Tim Scott had donors supporting him who didn't want Donald Trump to be the nominee. And so if they still feel that way, maybe Nikki Haley feels like the most obvious alternative, given that DeSantis has also struggled a bit throughout this primary.
So give us a lay of the land. Where does this race stand right now for Republican nomination?
Nationally, the race shows that, according to our averages, Donald Trump is at about 56%. Then second is DeSantis at 14%. After that, Haley at about 9%. Then Ramaswamy at 5%. Of course, this is not a national election, though. This goes state by state. And so if you look in Iowa, for example, you'll see that Trump doesn't actually break the 50% threshold, and that DeSantis and Haley are doing okay. I mean, DeSantis is in the teens. Haley does better in Iowa. She does better in New Hampshire and South Carolina than she does nationally. I would say Tim Scott actually has about 7% support in Iowa. So where does that support? So even if nationally he's at like 2%, where does his support in the early states like Iowa and South Carolina go? And that's where it could make the difference for Nikki Haley potentially.
All right. So what are you watching for ahead of the next debate? And do you think we could see more candidates start to drop out?
I absolutely think we could. So the next debate, there's a polling threshold of 6%. You got to get two polls nationally that show you at 6%, or two different polls in early states that show you at 6%. There are candidates out there right now who would have a difficult time making that. Doug Burgum, obviously, is one of them, didn't make the last debate. I think Chris Christie could be another one. And look, the deal right now is that the people who are running for president,
American Air 889er, contact Kingston Center on 128.1. Have a good one.
Otherwise,
Center on 128.1. American Air 889er.
A lot of support in the polls. And so if your goal is for somebody else to be the nominee apart from Trump,
Center American Air 889er at flight level 360.
I'm talking about Chris Christie. I'm
American
talking about
Air 889er, good morning.
Caveats there that he does like Trump. You know, if you don't have a path, it's time to get out, because the only way there's a real competitive race for the nomination is if it winnows down to Trump and one alternative.
American Air 889er, you are off course.
If Nikki Haley and DeSantis
turn right heading 015 to return to course.
That Trump wins the nomination.
Heading 015 American Air 889er.
Exactly. So that's what I'm watching for.
All right, interesting to see who's going to hang on. Galen Druk from ABC's 538. Thank you.
Thank you.
And rain is moving into the Gulf Coast amid the worst drought ever recorded. So will this new storm help to end the drought? ABC meteorologist Samara Theodore is tracking that for us. Samara, what's the latest?
All right, well, let me set the stage here. So what you're looking at right now is Vernon Parish, Louisiana. This is a wildfire from back in August of 2023, but they're still seeing wildfires burn out there. This is the worst wildfire season on record for Louisiana. Think about it. This past weekend, 73% of the state of Louisiana was under an exceptional drought. Okay, so they've really been dealing with substantial dryness down there. They're in a major rain deficit as well. Parts of Louisiana have seen 30 inches in the rain deficit, so we're looking at 3 feet below normal of what they should be seeing in some areas as well, 2 feet in others, so they really significantly need the rain down there. This storm system that's getting ready to ride in, an area of low pressure has developed off the coast of Texas. What's going to happen is it's going to whip rain into Texas, into New Orleans, on the coastline of Louisiana, into Mobile, Alabama, and even the Florida Panhandle today through Wednesday. They need a lot of rain, okay? So we just talked about the deficit. We're talking feet in the deficit, but we're only going to see about 3 to 5 inches of rain with this storm. So barely going to make a dent. However, it's a start. You can see the areas that are going to be getting it just south of New Orleans, 3 to 5 inches into the Florida Panhandle from Tallahassee to Gainesville. I will say a lot of this is more swamp low-lying area. We could use it farther north, but it's rain nonetheless. And if you're wondering, is this going to help the Mississippi River? No, we need that rain to hit farther north, near Ohio, into the Ohio Valley, for that to actually provide some alleviation there. So the storm system is coming. It's going to be bringing rain, Diane. I will also note this. If you live in Louisiana, if you live in Florida, areas that have been experiencing drought, the ground is really dry. So this rain is coming and we need it, but it's coming down fast, it's coming hard, and this could lead to flash flooding. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Back to you.
All right, ABC News meteorologist Samara Theodore, thank you. Coming up, the IRS is adjusting its tax brackets to account for inflation, how the changes could put more money in your pocket. Also ahead, looking to save on your Thanksgiving meal? When to buy turkey, sweet potatoes, and more to get the best deals. Business headlines are next.
Attention all gamers and tech enthusiasts. Introducing the ultimate gaming console repair and servicing center at V2 Value and Variety Shop. At V2, we're not just a shop. We're your gaming lifeline. Our dedicated team of expert technicians knows gaming consoles inside out, from Xbox to PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and more. We've got your gaming needs covered. Join the league of satisfied gamers who trust V2 for quick, reliable, and cost-effective console repairs. V2 Value and Variety Shop, where your gaming adventure never stops. Visit us today at Cannon Place or Eastern Avenue. Call us at 322-0475 or 321-8989. V2 Value and Variety Limited, Cayman's preferred electronics store.
If you keep learning more English but aren't becoming a fluent speaker, did you know that a few native communication techniques can help you express yourself more confidently today? See, it doesn't matter how much English you study if you still forget words, can't understand natives, struggle with pronunciation, or translate every time you speak. So instead of learning more words or grammar, communication techniques like the one rule for pronunciation and the simple trick to speaking continuously can help you speak better almost instantly. This approach has already helped over 20,000 English learners around the world. So if you'd like to speak better English today without studying more words or grammar, click on the button link in this post now.
You'll be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live.
What would you do? Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. The IRS is out with some important new tax changes for 2024 that could save you some money. ABC News business reporter Alexis Christophorus has more on that and your other business headlines. Alexis, we love to save some money, so what do you got for us?
And how often do we put the words good news and IRS in the same sentence?
Taxes, saving money don't often go together.
No, it's happening this morning, though, because here's a silver lining to higher inflation, perhaps. More of your income will be taxed at a lower rate next year. Every year, the IRS adjusts the tax brackets to account for inflation, and once again, the agency is widening all of those brackets. So, for example, if you made $45,000 this year, you'll be taxed at a rate of 22%. That could help millions of Americans increase their take-home pay because you see there next year, you'll be taxed at a rate of just 12%. Also, the IRS is changing the amount that you can deduct from your taxable income. So for married couples, that amount is going up by $1,500. For single taxpayers, it is rising by $750. And that could be enough to push some people into a lower tax bracket. Now, all of this applies to income starting next year, so it really applies for when you file your taxes in 2025. With the clock ticking on another possible government shutdown, Moody's has changed its outlook on the U.S. credit rating to negative from stable, but it did still keep the country's top-notch AAA rating in place. It brings the U.S. one step closer, though, to losing its last perfect AAA credit rating. Fitch downgraded the U.S. earlier this year from AAA to AA+ over the debt ceiling showdown. S&P did the same thing back in 2011.
downgrades to the U.S. credit rating could potentially raise the nation's borrowing costs and hike interest rates for consumer loans like credit cards and mortgages. The good news is so far that has not happened. All right, have you started your Thanksgiving food shopping yet?
Nope.
Me neither. Well, experts say it may pay. It may pay for us to wait. Wells Fargo's chief agriculture economist says stores typically cut prices for staples like turkey and sweet potatoes. It is best to buy now, the 2 weeks leading up to the holiday. According to the USDA, the star of the meal, turkey, costing 9% less this year thanks to ample supply. But those sides, well, they may cost you more. Canned green beans up 9%. Canned cranberries up 30%.
Hello? Hi,
thanks
Captain.
to higher packaging and
How are
labor costs. So Diane, pro tip
All
here,
good.
opt for fresh fruits and vegetables. Not
Yes,
only
everything is fine. Thanks for asking.
Call me if you need anything.
Resume navigation American Air 889er.
Love it. Alexis Christophorus, thank you. And if you have any finance questions for Alexis, you can leave a message on our Instagram feed. She might answer your question right here on Thursday. Coming up, the Festival of Lights, how India and the U.S. are celebrating Diwali and how one celebration broke a world record. Stay with us.
GMA This Week kicks off with Oscar winner Ariana DeBose live.
It's so good.
And Wake Up with Chris Pine live. Plus, the Bella Twins right here on Twin Love. This week on Good Morning America. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Well, there is nothing bigger, nothing better than Monday Night Football on ABC and ESPN. And the next morning, watch GMA for the Tuesday morning NFL ticket giveaway for tickets to a Monday Night Football game.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
Reporting from LaGuardia Airport, I'm Gio Benitez. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, more than 1 billion people around the world are celebrating Diwali. The Festival of Lights is one of the most important holidays in the Hindu religion, and millions in India set a world record during a celebration over the weekend by lighting 2 million lamps and then keeping them burning on the banks of the Saryu River for nearly an hour. Celebrations here in the U.S. are also bigger than ever. ABC's Zohreen Shah has a look at Diwali across the country.
The Festival of Lights is shining bigger and brighter than ever. Known as Diwali or Deepavali, the holiday symbolizing light over darkness and good over evil, taking on a new life here in the U.S. The spotlight growing from major companies like Target, Nordstrom, Costco, even NASDAQ bringing it in. Across the country, from Arizona, Georgia, Illinois, Minnesota, a 5-day holiday turned into a season of festivities. Here in LA on Melrose Avenue, this Diwali Mela or fair taking place for the 2nd year.
We just have our own way of doing our fairs, our melas, and so there's no better way to celebrate the Festival of Lights.
This alley full of Diwali classics, the food, the fun, and of course, the fashion.
Okay guys, so this is one of my favorite parts of Diwali, just seeing what everyone is wearing. People go colorful, they go big, and they go bold.
Many South Asian Americans remember that it wasn't always like this. In New York City, the Desai Foundation put on their first Diwali on the Hudson in 2013.
We weren't sure anyone was going to show up, and we sold out. And it was really clear to us that so many people are looking for a way to connect with their culture and their community.
Now the event's celebrating its 10th anniversary. Hundreds gathering for the holiday and the mission of the Desai Foundation, supporting women and children in rural India. And history made at Walt Disney World. Over 400 dancers across the country, many of them children, coming together for Diwali Dance Fest.
I'm really excited. This was a great opportunity. I'm so glad that I got to be here and see all these people dance with me too.
A younger generation showcasing their talent at the 3-day event, celebrating the magic of their culture and Diwali.
Happy Diwali!
Our thanks to Zoreen Shah for that report. Happy Diwali. And thank you for streaming with us. I am Diane Macedo. ABC News Live is here for you anytime with the latest news, context, and analysis. The news.
On the beach, and I kick her extremely hard in the face, and then I push her off into the sea.
Liar, a murderer, and a psychopath.
I was able to turn around now, and I had the power over him.
It angers me. It makes me just want to return the favor to him. I would love to return the favor to him.
Natalie Holloway, A Killer Confesses, the stunning new Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
When the announcer calls my name, the world almost fades away.
It's the biggest, it's the most famous dog event there is.
Welcome to Crufts, the world's greatest dog show.
The competition in dog dancing is very stiff.
Here, every dog has its day on the dance floor.
Dancing with my dog is the closest thing to magic.
Our winner, our Crufts 2023.
The Secret Life of Dancing Dogs, streaming only on Hulu, November 17th.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about, the new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get your podcasts.
ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Welcome back to ABC News Live First. Thanks for streaming with us. You're looking at New York City on this Monday, and we have a lot of news to get to. Here's the rundown right now. The military is investigating after 5 U.S. service members were killed in a helicopter crash during a training exercise in the Mediterranean. The Department of Defense is identifying them as Chief Warrant Stephen Dwyer, Chief Warrant Officer Shane Barnes, Staff Sergeant Tanner Groen, Sergeant Andrew Southard, and Sergeant Cade Wolf. The Pentagon says their helicopter was attempting to refuel with an aerial tanker midair in the middle of the night. They were in the Mediterranean in case they were needed to evacuate Americans from the Middle East. And evacuations are underway in Iceland amid fears of a volcanic eruption. Small earthquakes have already damaged homes and roads and forced the closure of the famous Blue Lagoon. Experts say the tremors point to imminent danger hours or days away. An eruption in Iceland back in 2010 caused the cancellation of more than 100,000 transatlantic flights. And take a look at this dust devil spotted at a work site in Port Richey, Florida. Dust devils can grow to more than half a mile high. Thankfully, no one was hurt. And a campus vigil is expected at the University of Idaho tonight to mark 1 year since 4 students were killed in an off-campus house. Suspect Brian Koberger is awaiting trial. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the latest. Hi, Kana.
Yeah, Diane, it's been incredibly difficult as the families grapple with this last year and also struggle with a lengthy and uncertain legal process. But one thing's for sure in the eyes of Kaylee Gonsalves' family, today is not an anniversary. I spoke with her father, Steve, who said it's certainly a day of remembrance, but not one that they ever looked forward to. Now, the University of Idaho is holding a vigil in Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan's honor, and they asked members of the Vandal community to leave their porch lights on tonight. The man who stands accused, Brian Koberger, has pled not guilty, and they have no trial date at this time. DNA evidence found on the knife sheath at the scene remains the linchpin for prosecutors, who are expected to hand over additional DNA materials to the court by December 1st as the judge decides if Kohberger's defense will be granted all the discovery they've been asking for. Also, the house on King Road was recently remeasured by the FBI, and the university does intend on demolishing it, but it will not be done this semester. And Diane, all of the families have created foundations in their children's name to promote education and ensure that their legacy lives on. Diane.
All right, Kana Whitworth, thank you. And ABC News legal contributor and trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer joins me now for more on this. Brian, 1 year since this happened, nearly a year since Brian Kohberger was arrested. Why hasn't the trial started yet? What's taking so long?
Well, once Brian Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial, we start to see the process get delayed. Right now, we are mired in motion practice, and that's why we don't have a trial date. The arguments as to what discovery should be turned over, how this trial may look, and even, I think, at one point, we're going to see argument for a change of venue. So it might be quite some time. If you look at Lori Vallow Daybell's trial in the same state, it took about 2 years for her to go to trial. I would expect something very similar here.
Now, the DNA discovered on the button snap of the knife sheath seems to be a key piece of evidence in this case. Prosecutors saying it links Kohberger to this crime. The defense is saying it could actually point to more than one person or another person. How strong is that piece of evidence?
Right now, we don't know. With these both sides arguing about the source of the DNA, using genetic genealogy to first tie Brian Kohberger's father, then connect to Brian Kohberger himself, the defense is also arguing, hey, there are 2 other male sources there. Just the genetic genealogy and the testing itself bring in the question as to whose DNA is there.
Sorry to bother
but also
you.
how that sheath
Would you like
got
something
there.
to eat?
Was it because Brian Kohberger left
No,
it there,
thanks.
or someone else
No
brought
problem.
it there? We're still waiting for those
Give me a
questions
call
to be
if
answered.
you change your mind.
Prosecutors are expected to hand over additional materials related to DNA. What are you looking out for in this case?
I'm looking for the math, so to speak, how they added 1 + 1 to get Brian Kohberger's father and then his father. That's what the defense has been asking for from the beginning of this whole DNA battle. I want to see how they collected it, how they tested it, who these other potential male sources are, and how strong this DNA actually is.
All right, ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. Thanks, Brian.
Pleasure.
And New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he's not being accused of any wrongdoing as the FBI investigates potentially illegal foreign donations made to his campaign. Sources say the FBI seized the mayor's electronic devices as they look into whether the Turkish government benefited from donations to Eric Adams' 2021 mayoral campaign. ABC News senior investigative correspondent Aaron Kutursky has the latest. Hi, Aaron.
Diane, the mayor has not been accused of any wrongdoing and has pledged to cooperate with this investigation. It was a week ago the FBI seized his phones and his iPad, and we're now told that investigators were interested in text messages from September 2021. That's when Adams was still the Brooklyn borough president and the Democratic nominee for mayor. We're told the Consul General of Turkey had asked Adams for help in keeping the opening of a new Turkish consulate here in New York City on time. There'd been a problem with the building's occupancy certificate. Adams texted the fire commissioner. The fire commissioner responded that the building would get the permit on time. People close to the mayor insist this is far from pay to play. And the mayor, in a statement, said it was a routine part of his role to notify government agencies of issues on behalf of constituents and constituencies. But federal authorities are now investigating whether the mayor's campaign received illegal donations from Turkey using a Brooklyn construction company as a conduit. Diane?
Senior investigative reporter Aaron Kutursky, thank you. And Keke Palmer has been granted a temporary restraining order against her ex-boyfriend Darius Jackson and has requested full custody of their infant son. Palmer alleges in her court filing that Jackson has been physically and emotionally abusive, saying the most recent attack happened while she was on the phone with her mother. Eva Pilgrim has more.
Keke Palmer filing for temporary full custody of her 8-month-old son with her ex-boyfriend, citing multiple alleged domestic violence incidents. The court also granting the 30-year-old a restraining order against him.
Her being a black woman, if she's taking the measures, just to protect herself and her son, what would she lie for?
Palmer details 2 separate incidents of alleged abuse by Darius Jackson, the most recent on November 5th, caught on her home security cameras. She says Darius trespassed into my home uninvited, without my knowledge or consent, and physically attacked me, knocked me over my couch and pinned me down, and stole my phone after I threatened to call police. Palmer claims Jackson had been violent with her multiple times during their relationship, including in February 2022, also caught on her home security. She says Darius choked me and body slammed me onto the stairs in my home after becoming violently jealous and irrationally angry over a bikini picture. Jackson and representatives have not responded to requests by ABC News.
Let's have a great shoot.
The 30-year-old Nope actress began dating Jackson, an actor and fitness instructor, in 2021. The two splitting this past October.
This clearly has been a situation ongoing, and shout out to Kiki for finally making the decision to just move on from a toxic situation that just isn't good for her or, you know, their son that they have together.
Just days after the November 5th incident, Jackson posting this photo with their son Leo on X, writing, "I love you, son. See you soon." Palmer requesting full custody of their son, detailing a September 2023 incident, writing, Darius.
Is that my fault?
No. I've asked how many times it happened before you go down that path.
I mean, plenty of times in Miami.
Exactly, but that's not fair, is it?
Well, please don't forget I'm not from here.
But that's not the point, ma'am. That's not fair, is it?
I also don't care about those things.
But so you only care about fairness when it doesn't benefit you.
I just don't go to clubs that often.
But that's not the point. I asked you how many times you've gone to a club where you got in and free with ugly chicks, so that's attractive. Even though I'm attractive, I demand that you chicks, the less attractive chicks, had to pay. And you know that's happened. You didn't say, I'm still, excuse me, sir. Even though I'm attractive, I demand that you charge me full price. That's fair, right?
Okay, so because I into places and get
that fair?
That means that I should get
fair. Before we go that, I'll answer your question if you at least answer mine. Is that fair?
Life isn't fair.
Well, if that's the case, you accept it in the sexual marketplace too.
It doesn't mean I have to accept other people's bullshit.
No. Well, see, the thing is, ma'am, see what you've proven, like many feminists and many women, you're okay with the double standards that benefit you. But the ones you don't like, you just throw at the wind, use sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right to deflect and dismiss guys who are normally intimidated by this thing. I'm not. I'm just challenging your position. You're okay with it not being fair when it benefits you.
You're oversimplifying a very complex situation.
No, it's not really complex. There are no such thing as loyal. The concept of a loyal, highly effective, competitive alpha is a female notion.
And have to continue to compete with other pretty girls because men are too simple to stick with one.
Well, how about this? The kind of men you're talking about are simple enough to make the light you live in, the air conditioning, all the stuff that you, hold on, excuse me, ma'am. The simple men built the world that you use.
I built my own world. So
no,
again,
ma'am, you used the world we built. No, ma'am, you used the world men built. Name me 5 great female inventors. I'll give you what? Madame Curie.
I can't believe you. So you're telling me that men and
no, ma'am, I just asked you a question and you just you go see you're answering questions with questions. You're talking about building. Name me 5 great female inventors or builders. Madame Curie.
5 inventors or builders. That's a really great question. That really is. Yeah, I was gonna. Well, also I don't remember the lady's name, but there's a bunch of buildings in Miami.
Go on and do it. Go on and do it. Take it. She's afraid. Go on and do it. Go on and get on in there, baby girl. You got it.
Miami was established by a woman.
Congratulations. But the Miami, the land was established by, but this country was first landed by who? Men or women?
Men.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
And see, the thing is, I've done this show about survival, and you can go back to Bear Grylls' Island Number 2. Man, you can only be a feminist in a first world country.
There's a hierarchy of needs. You are correct. We
don't need you.
College.
And we don't need you. You need us.
Great. I don't need you either.
I know we need you. We don't need you for survival. You need us for survival.
Okay, so
what I'm trying to get you to understand, ma'am, is you have a right to your opinions.
Obviously, I don't have a right to anything.
Well, no, you have a right to believe what you want, but the thing is, you're not allowed to the outcome. You're allowed to have an opinion, just like men are allowed to have an opinion. And you don't have to compete or deal in a situation that you deem is unfair, but you can't complain about the rules that are already set. You like the rules that benefit you, getting into the club for free, but you don't like the rules that benefit men. High
And-
value men have the leverage.
Correct you, because I'm 30 fucking 1 years old and I'm getting a little fed up of these men kind of attacking me. I do not go to clubs anymore. So please stop with your double standard bullshit. I work in a man's world, and if anything, I've had to work 5 times as hard in this world as a man to get where I am. So
Well, look at hold on now. Since you want to tell me you've had to, you're 31 years old and had to work in a man's world. That's a privilege. You don't. Here's the thing, ma'am. You say the problems with men. The only one that's complaining about the double standard harshly is you.
Yes,
but it benefits you too.
All the benefits.
Okay, well, here's the thing, ma'am. If you don't like, okay, ma'am, you're a competent woman, correct?
Okay, so I should quit my job and never.
No, you should build Amazonia, and make it the female utopia that benefits women.
I probably should after listening.
Well, then go ahead.
Agree with you.
And then you'd have to actually build something.
Apparently
You'd have to put your mouth where you'd have to put your brawn where your mouth is.
I don't understand what you're saying again.
I'm saying that you came at me with the same line. I've had to put up at 31 years old and deal with men's bullshit. You're living in a first world country. You're in Miami, one of the most posh places on the planet, complaining about double standards that you participate in. The nerve.
I corrected you that I don't go to clubs, so you're
okay, ma'am, I just gave an example. You've been to clubs. I didn't say you continue to go. That's not the point now, is it? But see, that's another way of you trying to get me online and then correcting me because I'm a dumb man. I get the point.
No, you're very rude and very aggressive.
No, I'm very direct. And when you were doing this to the men, you had no problem showing your dick. I'm just acknowledging your balls. Because you're a tough woman.
Why? Why should I be?
Because I'm just giving what you give. I'm reflecting back what you give to people. But see, the thing is, you're okay giving this to people.
Okay.
I'm just challenging what you think.
These were my opinions when I came in here. I'm the one that presented these opinions.
I just listened to you for 2 nights say these things, and I'm just talking to you one-on-one. And you're not backing down. I'm just challenging what you say, man.
To a bunch of weak ass men tell me that I'm not attractive and I'm not this and I'm not that because I am not going to back down and listen to somebody.
Okay, are you saying the men in the room with you are a bunch of weak ass men?
If you think that I should have to accept less than
no, ma'am, I don't think you should have to do anything you don't want to. You're a free person. But I'm trying to understand, who are the weak ass men you're referring to?
Amazonia, because
who are the weak ass men you're referring to? Who are the weak ass men you're referring to?
What did I just say? I
didn't hear you because you kind of started talking over me. So could you repeat it? A bunch of weak ass men doing what?
Yes. When somebody sits here and tells me I need to accept an unfair situation, that if we applied it to anything else in life other than men and women, wouldn't be accepted by everybody in this room. But you're going to tell me that, I'm going to tell you that's bullshit. And that's not fair.
Okay. Can I give a response?
There's a million issues in our culture and society today that people are fighting for fairness, but yet I'm sitting here saying, hey, I'm allowed to expect it too, and I'm going to be attacked and told.
Okay. Can I respond now?
Different.
Okay. No, let me tell you something. First of all, men don't worry about fair. The sexual marketplace is not fair. All is fair in love and war. It's not fair. There are guys out there that you wouldn't give the time of day who could have a heart of gold because they don't hit your marker. Oh, no, ma'am, I'll let you speak.
You don't know that.
No, I know that you don't give every man a chance is what I do know.
You don't. Well, actually, you don't know that at all.
Okay, are you saying that you are the one female on the planet that will give every man who wanted you a shot?
No, I am not.
Okay, then I can assume that was correct. Let's move on. Let's not get lost in. Okay, that's a deflection. Let's not get lost in that. You're talking about unfairness. Where in the world is it fair like you need it to be?
Is it fair for you here in America?
No, ma'am. I ask you, where in the world is it fair? Like, I'm not complaining about it. I deal with it. I deal with the unfairness and overcome it because I'm a man and I can deal with it. And I'm asking you, where is this place? Where's this ideal place? Where's the ideal model?
It doesn't exist.
Exactly.
There's 3 women here sitting like here never wanting to go on a date again.
Well, no. How about not wanting to go on a date? What's happened in this world more than anything else is mankind has learned how to get along with each other since recorded history. But around the 60s, when the National Organization for Women, the ERA, Phyllis Schlafly, she was on our side. When all this stuff came in, feminism, second wave, feminism, I'm a feminist. I believe in feminism. Feminism is about choice.
So you really
Excuse
are.
me, ma'am. Feminism in its true form is about choice.
Yeah, we don't have a choice right now with what's
No,
going
you
on.
have a choice. She just exercised one right now. It got too hot. She left. See, it's about choice. If a woman wanted to be a housewife, she could do it. If she wanted to be a business person, she could do it. See, the choice was about all black people wanted was a choice, freedom, to have an equal shot, not equal outcomes. Men accept these things. You don't hear men complaining about fair. If Donovan and I were playing a game of football or video game, if he was kicking my fucking ass, I would be a punk to sit up and say, it's not fair. My controller's not working. The game is rigged. That's not fair. You're better. You know, I would have to just take my ass whooping, take my L's and get better. That's what men do.
That you guys choose to be this way, and we don't want to choose to be that way. We want to be different. We don't want somebody that's going to cheat. We don't want anybody, like, we want someone that's going to be faithful. Why do we have to settle for these types of things that you're saying?
Well, first of all, you don't have to settle for anything. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. But what also does not have to happen is men don't have to be counter to their nature to make you happy.
And that's okay. So what's the issue?
The issue is that men are not the ones complaining about the state of relationships and dating as much as women are. Women wanted freedom of choice. Women wanted to be able to have sex with who they wanted to, marry who they want to, love who they want to, work where they want to, not work where they want to, go every place that men could go. You are the most free, most liberated group of women that ever existed on the human history, and yet you're the most unhappy. 1 in 4 out of you on some sort of psych meds. Women are, the marital rate is dropping with modern women. What else do you want men to do? We've civilized the world in general. We don't even have wars. You can do whatever you want to. And you're still not happy with the world that men built, telling us that we're not good enough because we don't move like women. We're not going to.
I just feel like you guys don't put in effort. I feel like the most of you
Are you
not.
serious?
I do feel like you're serious.
That I don't put in effort?
I mean, the way that you're talking, it doesn't seem like it. Like,
No, but she's right in a sense, because just what
wow.
you guys are saying, most guys today, that's 80% of guys that you
you guys
think
are
that
used to it, so you guys
there's-
just don't
Used
even
to,
put the
more-
effort
there's
used to
more
what?
guys-
Hold on, used to what?
to not putting in effort. You guys are so used to women
no.
just falling at your lap.
So I was born this way. Is
It's
that
because
it?
the 23-year-olds matter and not
But you know what? But the guys, let's not get lost in this, because when they can get into VIP by just being the hottest woman in the club, that's okay.
Why is that your only argument?
Yeah, and
Because it's the one that everybody understands. Because it's the one that everyone understands. And I could use more. Trust me, I'm a smart guy. I can give you more. But the point of the matter is, it's the one we understand, and the double standard
Ladies and
benefits you,
gentlemen.
you're okay with.
Damas y caballeros.
What effort are women putting in
We will
today?
be
Women
starting our
still want
duty-free
men to
service
move
in
in
a
a
few
traditional way, but yet
If
you're
you
not
could please
traditional
clear
women.
all aisles and ensure that bags are placed in the overhead lockers, that would be appreciated. If you're wondering what we
crickets
have
button?
available to order, please
I'm
see the details
confused
of all
on
of our exclusive
asking
items
men
in the
to act in
catalog
a
in the seat
traditional
pocket
way.
in the
Yes,
back.
you want men to be traditional.
Please note, we're not
Most
able to
women.
sell cigarettes
Okay, I
on
run a
board the
show that
aircraft,
has anywhere from
and we
15
cannot
to
sell
20,000
alcohol to
people
you if
watching
you are
every
unable
night.
to provide proof of age and
And
health by a
women
member of
from
the crew.
women around the world
Thank you.
consistently say they want a man
pocos
that's
minutos
earning
estaremos
in the
comenzando
high
nuestro
5,
servicio
low
libre
6
de
figures.
impuestos.
They want to have
Si
2 to 3
pudiera,
kids and be
asegúrese de que
married.
todos los
Most
pasillos
women want
estén
the top
despejados y que las
10% of
bolsas se
men.
coloquen en
You
los
can go
casilleros
watch my
superiores.
channel and see
Eso
this
sería
bared
muy
out.
apreciado.
Black, white, Asian,
Si
Hispanic,
se
Middle
pregunta
Eastern,
qué
and other,
tenemos
across the
disponible para
board.
ordenar, consulte los detalles
All
de
these
todos
women are
nuestros
given an
artículos
option. Do you
exclusivos
want to
en el
have to
catálogo
work
en
to
el
pay
bolsillo del
significant
asiento
bills
frente a
after you're
usted.
pregnant? The answer
Tenga
comes
en
back
cuenta que no podemos
overwhelmingly
vender
no,
cigarrillos a
meaning
bordo
they
del
want
avión
to be
y no podemos
traditional
venderle alcohol si
stay-at-home
no puede
housewives. They
proporcionar
were
una prueba
raised
de
that
edad de
way.
un miembro
They
de
were
la
cultured
tripulación que
that
los
way.
solicita.
They're not even equipped to be
Gracias.
that way. But yet, and if you ask them, could you date an average guy earning $50,000? Even women coming straight out of college turn their nose up. Men accept this. Excuse me, man. Men accept it. Can I finish my example?
Today you said he's making $80,000 and that wasn't enough.
Okay, so men accept this. Men accept
wasn't-
the fact that college men accept the fact that they're in school right now with women their own age, that 80 years ago they could have married and had a family early on. Now they're looking at these same women, and these same women would not even look at these guys unless they're making 6 figures. Men have accepted the unfairness in the marketplace. It's not fair for men. 18 to 30, men used to could get married. Now you can't even really consider getting married till you're 35 plus because you have to have resources. That's the new marketplace. The thing is, but let me finish. Let me say this, and I'll turn it over. Men have accepted that and adjusted. The difference is the women are not bringing in. Women in mass are bringing this. Ask them what you want, you get War and Peace. Ask you what you bring to the table, you can't write it on the back of a stamp. You get access to my body, which is not virgin, which is not even low miles, which you've given to somebody before. And in some cases, you've even shared your womb. You're not even really feminine like women used to be. You don't even have the domestic skills, the home skills. So is it I would submit today that modern women are asking for an unfair deal from modern men.
So we should go back to 1950 and make it more fair.
Well, I tell you what's happening is the men have accepted this and they're deciding to, I am either not going to play this game because I cannot earn what these guys around you are earning, and they're just opting to walk away. And the men who are earning that have an overwhelming amount of options. They have a plethora of options. Men in the top 10%, top 5%. I'm 51 years old, and I can get whatever I want. Because women all want the same kind of man. And if you have options just like you're not going to do what? Settle. Men didn't make the marketplace this way, ladies. You fought for it to be this way. This is freedom. Freedom comes with responsibility.
Clearly not for men.
No. See, when men were paying the bills, when we had the old system, men were expected to fight the wars, dig the ditches, build the buildings, pay all the bills, and when a divorce or something happened, men had to pay. Now women fought for equality, so you get upset when you deal with 50-50 mindset men.
Nah, I mean, I'd rather an independent rich woman and be single than to be stuck with a man who doesn't give a shit about me.
And I would rather pay more than half of the bills.
Absolutely, exactly.
Okay, first off, you said you'd rather be in it, and if that's what you choose to be, great, you can do that. That's choice. And you can do that.
Exactly.
But the thing is, but the funny thing is, you would think that, and especially in my community, strong, independent, such and so forth, the amount of women who are high earners, independent, and miserable is amazing. Halle Berry, once the most beautiful woman on the face of the planet, 3 times in a row, is complaining about child support. She's rich, she's beautiful, she's miserable. How about this? There used to be a time where men and women actually did not war with one another. We didn't have these contentious things. We accepted that men were men, women were women. We acknowledged each other's differences. We respected those things and let the world work. In the last 70 years, we've decided, let's rejigger everything, and it's not working.
And you could rape your wife and she didn't have any rights, and you could beat her.
Now what's going on, guys, is this is the sign language that goes on again. This is when they go to the horror stories. In the black community, we call this the color purpling of Black America. Miss Seeley, these things could happen, sure, but they did not happen in mass. You did not go to suburbia and see women's eyes hanging out of their socket.
I highly disagree with you. Okay. I mean, raping your wife was such a huge deal. It didn't even get.
I said eyes hanging out of your socket. You talking about? I'm not going to use that word because I'm on somebody's platform. Right. Can we not use that word though?
Because
can we not use that? Can we not use that word? It's YouTube sensitive.
I'm sorry. What word?
The R word.
Or spelled backwards.
It dings the platform.
Okay.
I'm not rejecting the concept. But yes, ma'am, it happened. Right? But ma'am, but what you're trying to
think that world was better for me.
Okay, well then if the world is better for you, then accept the things that come along with a better world.
I just think that everything you guys are presenting are opinions and they're not facts.
Well, actually, there are more facts than you want to deal with, because all I deal with based on facts.
There are things that you guys want to say are facts.
Okay, ma'am.
Statistics that show me this.
Here we go. Okay, ma'am. My show, all I deal with facts and statistics.
Women that are happy in their environment, knowing they're being cheated on, knowing these things are happening to them, and you find them for me.
How many women we have?
Excuse me, hold on. Let me ask the question again. Ask the question again.
You go find these women that are being happy, being cheated on. They're happy. And
excuse me. Hold on. I will. Excuse me. I can go. I'll let you know. I can go out to where I used to live in Dallas, in Highland Park. I knew at least 6 of them. 6 of them. Because they were, excuse me, ma'am.
That have been
excuse me. If you let me explain to you, I will.
You're not letting me finish my thought, and then
you asked a question. You asked a question. Go find these women, and I'm going to tell you where I found them.
My thought wasn't over. I said in successful marriages.
Okay, in successful marriages.
10 years later.
And they're still married. Still married. There was a soccer. The soccer mom. Okay. Do you want to hear or not?
Well, I mean, I just don't. I would.
You
Love
see, I could give you the example, and you still won't accept it because there are some women who accept the fact that, you know what, if I want to have a man that's making $500,000 a year, that kind of living, he's not going to be able to go to the PTA meetings. He's going to have to work his butt off and maybe travel a lot. And guess what? They have an arrangement. But guess what? As long as you don't bring any outside babies, no diseases, and don't embarrass me in public, we're good. Guess what? She can also do what she wants to do as well. And they have an understanding because when the marital rate in this country, the divorce rate in this country is over 51%. But when you cross a net income of $250,000, it drops to 20% because people with more money got more reasons to stay together. And they find a way to do it all the time.
I respect your opinion because at least it's fair. At least people get to have part of a deal instead of just men get to cheat and women are going to sit at home and deal with it.
What I just gave you was a fact that anybody can look at.
Well, but again, I'm more okay with what you're saying. You're telling me it's going both ways, not just one.
Well, I'm telling you, it always has gone both ways. But the way you guys are set up is it's always women are the victims. And that's that feminism crap. I don't think women are victims. I think women can pick and choose. I think there are plenty of women like Melania Trump that choose to be married to a guy like Donald Trump and knew exactly what she was getting, was perfectly fine with being where she is. That's a choice.
I don't think I've ever sat here and claimed to be a victim.
Yeah, she is the worst. I mean, she's probably the best example because I'm not a Trump fan, but like, she's the worst example to bring into that because it's like, she's not.
She had the freedom to choose, and she chose.
She did.
So you're going to negate her choice?
Contact Havana Center
Absolutely,
on
she wasn't an American. She made her choices based on.
Oh, listen to that, gentlemen.
Center on 133.7
American
Air
what it is.
889er.
It's selective feminism. It's feminism only when it goes with what I think. Thank you for proving my
I
point.
would like to make a point, actually. So if we brought up that plenty of Colombian women run game on white guys in Miami for citizenship, we would act like they're victims.
No,
Guys,
Melania
Trump does the same thing.
No, I wouldn't.
She gets some cash. She gets what you are perceiving as
She got a deal. So let me say something, guys. Let me explain something to you ladies. What men and women have always done is not worried about the Western notion idea of marriage. What men and women have traditionally done is sat down and negotiated and hammered out a deal. And that's what they do. You hammer out a deal. Melania Trump got a deal. She is not a prisoner. She could have chosen to leave. This is a free country. If Donald Trump wanted her to stay and she wanted to leave, she could have. She chose to be there.
Yeah, but we're not all like Melania Trump.
And that is not a valid argument.
No,
but it is, though.
It is not. Because we're not, that's not a valid argument. I'm saying the fact that there are women who make choices that you don't understand, but they're free to make them and happy in those situations.
But again, you're talking about choices that are going both ways when what I have been getting annoyed with is there is no sense of fairness, and that's what exactly.
There is no fairness in dating, ma'am. That's what you don't seem to get. There's no fairness in this. All's fair in love and war. It's not fair. It's survival.
I'm glad I know now. I just got a lot of empowerment.
Now that I heard everybody's opinion here, it's like I don't even want to date. Like I'm.
Oh, I do.
I'm gonna be even more exactly.
But understand something, and you can do that. But here's the thing. And that's fine. And that's fine. But here's the thing. And the thing. And while you're running game, the game will be played as well. That's fine. And men are okay with that. See, men are okay with the.
Women okay with that though?
Ma'am, you ladies set up the rules. We are playing the game that modern women have set up.
So Kevin, and I don't know if you heard it, but again, one of the things that's bothered me is that again, it's, oh, well, men can do this, but women can't.
Such as?
Again, the cheating thing. Well, if you're the 1% of men, then you get to do this, and it's because women show, love differently and blah blah blah.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: if you're with a 1% man and you're cheating, you better not get. If you need to know your man.
Neither are we.
Some men. I will say this: I know men in the 1% whose wives have. What do you think the porn where she's sleeping with the pool boy, the postman, came from? Women cheated. The Postman Rings Twice was a very famous movie in the 70s. Ladies, there are some men who understand their wives cheat. There are just rules to it.
But again, I like that you're telling me we're setting a plan up front because that's not what's been being said here.
That's always what it comes down to.
He loves you. He ain't gonna let you know he's cheating.
There is something that comes down there is some man on the planet that you can actually make a deal with that you could accept. Now the point is, can you find him before time runs out? But that's how it always comes down to. There are blanket generalizations that are broadly
Ladies
true
and
for most
gentlemen.
people. But we're
Damas
human
y
beings.
caballeros.
Everyone has a choice.
We are
Some
about to
guys
serve our
cannot
hot
tolerate
drinks
any
menu.
cheating. Well, then
Please
if
make
you
sure
need to
your
get
tray
your
table
itch
is in the
scratched
down
and you
position
know what
and
you got
clear
on the
any
line,
items
you
from
got to
the aisle.
risk,
Thank you.
weigh the risk reward.
Estamos
Because
a
if you
punto
want
de
to risk
servir
it,
nuestro menú de
Aim
bebidas
lower, I
calientes.
guess. You know, lower your
Asegúrese de que su mesa de bandeja esté
expectations
en la
because if
posición
you're
hacia abajo y
if you're
despeje cualquier
dating,
artículo del
you
pasillo.
know,
Gracias.
above the 1%, then you might get somebody that's not gonna fucking cheat, right?
Maybe.
well, hold on. And see, the notion of this whole aim lower, this is why when women say this, I don't think you realize that people, when I don't think a lot of times you ladies understand when you say aim lower, you're in that lower too.
Where's the crickets button?
I don't aim lower. I'm not going to aim lower. I'm just
That
going to
is
stop
something I
being
just
such
put
a nice
out there.
person.
I'm
But
just
the fact that here's some realities. Women control access to sex and determine whether or not a life is brought into the world. Men control access to relationships and marriage. So you can aim whatever you want to, but unfortunately, men across the board, low value to high, control access to relationship. That's what we control. So this is what I was saying earlier. Ladies across the board, you can have your standards, your point of view, but when it comes right down to it, the way you guys were talking is if you had leverage over the kind of men that was in the discussion. You don't. Those men have leverage over the women. You're not competing. You're competing with the women around him. Everything that you ladies are saying, I won't tolerate this, such and so forth. There are plenty of other women to be like, shit, okay, fine. What else? Is that it? No problem.
saying we're not 1% like they.
I'm saying that there are more women wanting them than there are men. There's 1%. That means 99% aren't. And almost 100% of women want the same 1% of men. The Petro principle.
Oh, yeah.
There are more women trying to, okay, you've all been into a club at some point in your life. There's a regular club and there's VIP. The guys who are in VIP are looked at differently than the guys who are standing online.
That's not fair, Kevin.
Well, what the guys in VIP had to make. See, the thing is, one thing that most women don't seem to realize, and it's very simple. Women are born with inherent value. So they really can't understand the concept that we men have to deal with, that we have to make ourselves valuable. So when men hear that we have to make ourselves valuable, we accept the world as it is, and we don't sit back and say, well, it's not fair. We just deal with the world as it is. Here's the principle. Women can never objectively understand the male journey and struggle, so don't try to explain. In general, they see everything through rose-colored glasses, being born with inherent value. You earn all of your value as a man, and it's your greatest opportunity that you could hope for. Women are born with value, men are not.
Y'all had your your struggle. The women are still struggling right now.
I was gonna say it's
Clearly,
way harder to be a woman than a man.
I said value, ma'am. I said value.
Yourselves
No, you went to how hard it is. I said value.
Nobody's feeling sorry for themselves here.
I said value. Are you so
You're all telling me you're entitled to something better because your struggle's been harder.
no one see, men don't think we're entitled to anything. That's why we said don't even no. What I said was men should not try to explain.
If you weren't entitled, you wouldn't sit here and tell me I don't deserve the same.
No, yeah, you can knock the sign language off. It doesn't work on me. What I was saying is men should not try to objectively articulate your struggle and journey to be a man, because women are born with inherent value. See,
Kevin, she stopped listening. It's.
I know, and I'm about to run, but I'm gonna say this for the audience. Thank you for having me on, guys. And these are valuable back and forth, because what needs to happen more often than not is women who have these strong beliefs just question their beliefs, question why they believe what they believe, and then if it stands up, it stands up. If it doesn't, okay. But it's not. We're not being fair. We're not being rude. We're not being evil or argumentative. Women are used to one-way discussions, and that time has passed. Thank you, guys.
All right, Kev.
Thanks, Kevin.
Peace out.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We got special guest Kevin Samuels, the
in the building,
godfather of high value, right here in studio.
I'm gonna play the music again just so you guys know what time it is.
All right.
Welcome,
we are
welcome.
good now. We only wasted 4 minutes and 11 seconds. So as you guys see, we got Kevin Samuels in the house, man. He came down to Miami to hang out with us. It is lit. I put on my leather jacket just because I didn't want to get outstyled, and I'm still losing. So,
look, man, I had to bring on a turtleneck because this is what I rock with. You feel me? The turtleneck. So,
yeah,
you know.
man. I walked up on Kevin. I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Because he's staying at the hotel right near us, and I was like, "This guy's taller than me. This is BS, man. I'm 6'3". He's like 6'4". I'm like, "Oh, this is not cool, man." So when we go out for dinner tonight, I'm definitely gonna be wearing my Chelsea boots or my Chucker boots. He was styling a profile, and the ladies were checking him out. I was like, "Man, this is BS."
Look, we already have a super chat. But I'm gonna let Kevin talk a little bit first.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead, guys. Let's just get into it.
So before we get into the question, because people are probably wondering, how did you meet Kevin? How'd you guys connect? So real quick, we'll go down memory lane, guys. I met Kevin through Donovan Sharp. Obviously, as you guys know, Donovan is a good friend of mine, and Donovan is also a good friend of Kevin. And Donovan reached out to me to do the show, The Six. As you guys know, on Sundays we go live every week, Sunday at 8 p.m. And Kevin was on the panel, and me and him talked, during our shows, whatever it may be. I was like, "Hey, man, you need to come down to Miami whenever you can." He was like, "Yeah." And we did a show last week, and he just like booked his flight right there on the air. And I was like, "Oh, it's lit." And then he's here now, and you know what I mean? That's a sign of success when you can just like leave whenever you want, you know what I mean, and just travel and do things. So we're just happy to have him here in studio. I guess Fresh, you could ask the first question, man. We could kick it off.
I gotta say as well, man. Like Kevin Samuels is a guy that like I look up to all the time. And for me to just say this, like, he is the guy that knows about the digital footprint and the image and person footprint. Because like most people, they have an idea how they want to look. He knows how you should look, and that's very important, right?
Yep.
So, but for anyone that doesn't know who Kevin Samuels is, Kevin, who is Kevin Samuels?
Well, man, jack of many trades. Man, my background is varied. But at best, I'm just a guy like you. I'm a geek. I'm a hobbyist. I'm quirky. I like strange things, and I like cool stuff. My profession now is a professional image consultant, so personal and corporate. But what really kind of catapulted me into where I'm at now is my life coaching and my advice, because most of my clients, after we did the outside part, we still needed to work on the behavior, communication, and the all-important digital footprint. So YouTube is a great place to educate and entertain all at the same time.
Yeah. No. So for people that don't know what an image consultant is, can you tell them what an image consultant does? Because a lot of guys are like, "What's what?"
I package people. Simple as that. In an image consultant, simply put, you've heard you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Yes.
Inside the first 7 seconds of meeting someone or seeing someone for the first time, the human being makes about 11 different assumptions about you that stick, and it's nearly impossible to change. Socioeconomic status, educational level, religious affiliation, sexual orientation, perceived attractiveness, all these things go into a complex mix of people deciding whether or not to thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right.
It comes back from our old primitive brain when we used to have to make snap decisions. When all the men would go out to hunt for the buffalo, human beings used to have to see someone coming across the prairie and make a decision based upon how they walked, how their gait. And we still use that. So my job is using image, which is communication. Image is a language, and most people speak the wrong language, speak multiple languages in one sentence, but at the end of the day, it's miscommunicated. So I package people to help them get the best kind of outcome they want.
See, I can agree with that, because for me, the online presence itself speaks for itself as well. So that's your resume, your online perception. And for the most part, people judge you based off of that.
Yes.
And in today's marketplace, in terms of like the bear bug, what's going on, people find you online first for the most part. They may see a video, they may see a story of you, and they may see a picture of you on your social media itself, and they say, you know what, either I want to work with him or I don't want to work with him. And you got to be careful what image you put out there. So you're right.
Yeah. And see, many, especially men, we tend to discount the social aspect because we lived in a world to where we got out there and built stuff with our hands and this and that. So we didn't have to worry about the niceties or nuances of interpersonal communication.
Right.
But now the world is connected, smaller. People can sit there and watch something you say on a loop over and over again, and that either goes to reinforce or repair what they already think about you. So the digital footprint has always been major, but ever since the beer bug, yeah, it's everything now. You get it right online, you can write your own ticket. You get it wrong online, wrap.
Yeah, and that's so important, man, that like you never get, and that's one thing I remember about you when you say that, like you never get another chance to make a first impression. And it's very important because quite frankly, people don't have time to sit there and talk to you and get to know you and see what you're about. So they're going to make immediate assumptions about you to save time and also to protect themselves, you know? So if you convey yourself as like maybe a weirdo or a thug or whatever it may be, people are automatically going to assume you're a dangerous individual and not want to deal with you. So it's very important. So can you tell us a little bit about, because, you know, when we do our show, The Six, you talk a lot about your background with corporate sales and how you used to work for corporate America. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what led you to become an entrepreneur?
Turn left
well,
heading 350
I
to
went to
return
college
to
for
course.
chemical engineering. And
Heading
I did
350
internships for
American Air
3 semesters.
889er.
And after leaving college, I went to work as a corrosion engineer for a year and a half, and I absolutely hated it. So I did something that you're not supposed to do. I quit. I quit my job and started waiting tables at Papado. And what's funny is as a teenager, I always worked in food service, fast food, all that kind of stuff because, look, you get to eat for free. I was broke. Go to work, make some money, eat for free, good things. Waiting tables actually was the best move possible because everyone goes out to eat now and then. If you work at a higher end restaurant, it puts you in proximity to a lot of people. And you get to learn some basic sales skills. Like at McDonald's, would you like fries with that? How about you supersize? That's an upsell. Well, you make more money that way. So my personality is I'm a perfectionist by nature. So anytime I do something, I try to be really good at it. I went into my job as a server with the idea that I'm going to give the highest level of service because I want you to tip. I want a lot of money. I don't want 15%.
No, thank you.
I want
No
that
problem.
money. And the funny thing is,
Give me a call if you change your
if
mind.
you've ever
though.
gone to a business luncheon, business people go to restaurants all the time. And I actually got recruited away for sales at Papado to a company called MCI. MCI, for those of you who don't know, it was acquired by a company called WorldCom. But before WorldCom existed, there was AT&T and MCI, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. That's how big it was. Now it's gone. I started working for MCI,
American Air 889
telemarketing,
navigation.
selling long
Resume
distance
navigation
from
American
New York
Air
to
889er.
California, to businesses. The absolute hardest possible sale you can imagine. Long distance telecommunication to business, coast to coast. And what it did is it threw me into the deep end of the pool, and I learned that there were some people who are just going to come in there and do the basic stuff, read the script. There's some people who are going to learn and approach it like a professional. That's what I did. I went and took the training that they gave me. I saw that if I could increase my closing percentage or whatever, I could give yourself a raise, which sales is the one career that you can actually determine how much money you make. So I went and invested $5,000 into my own self to get additional sales training, and I netted $15,000 more that year. Sales became for me a way to take my technical, right brain stuff and my technical left brain stuff and max it with creativity. The natural progression for telemarketing, most people just stay working in a call center. I went outside sales because 6'4", great presentation, and that's when you really get in the big game.
Yep.
Car allowance, expense account, but you still got to do the same thing. Knock on 50 doors or make 50 phone calls, cold calling. And I had to learn the business from scratch. It was the best because I chose one of the most difficult territories and one of the most difficult verticals because of the potential. I sold to lawyers most of my career. So in my sales career, I was in telecommunications until that industry fell apart in the early 2000s. And then I spent a few years in office products and then another about 10 years in advertising and marketing.
Okay.
Sales was the best. Sales was great because, like I said, you can give yourself a raise and flexibility. Your first hired, last fired when you're a profit center. So
That's why it's one of the things I always recommend to guys, especially if you have a good technical mind. Mixing it with sales ability makes you an unstoppable threat in most places.
Bam. God, man, I didn't want to interrupt that. We got a couple super chats. We'll read them real quick, and then we'll get right back into it, guys. Obviously, as you can see, this is going to be a good interview. We got Secret Truth with a $5 sticker. Thank you so much for the support. We got Bobby McKnight Harrison. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. $20 super chat. Get the likes up. This is epic. The Godfather and Fresh and Fit collab. Thank you so much, man. Guys, like the video, man. Boosting the algorithm.
We got also before Oliver Eugen, he says, shout out to the Godfather, CIA, man in the building.
Yeah, man. No, this is lit. So what made you like leave sales? Because obviously you were doing well, you're making a good living for yourself. What made you say, I'm leaving corporate America, high-end sales, I'm doing my own thing?
Well, I went from working in Dallas to the big show in New York.
Yep.
And I moved up the ranks, shorten the story, broke a lot of sales records, got a lot of awards. The industry I was working in initially fell apart. The dot-com boom and bust happened. The companies all fell apart. So I went and worked for office products for a moment to kind of just stabilize things. And then, like I said, when I got into advertising, what really did it for me, though, is when I started working for AT&T, I went back and looked at all of my sales results over my career, and I had sold in excess of $45 million in products and services.
Wow.
But the problem is, if that was my business, I would have had at least 10% of that. Not as a corporate salesperson. You get a great salary, great commission, fly first class, business account, but once you leave, it's gone.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be a salesperson until they're 60 and carrying a bag. And I did not want to go into management.
Yeah.
So it was the perfect time for me to say, pull the lever and press the button and get out. And we started our own boutique advertising agency. Surprisingly enough, my ex took me to a Primerica. Primerica. Now, I know a lot of people don't like multi-level marketing with Primerica because they sell insurance and financial services. I went to Primerica and it opened my eyes to entrepreneurialism. Because being in sales, it was like having your own business working for another company. But I would go out and close a deal. My manager would eat, his manager would eat, the CEO would eat, the engineer would eat, customer service, everybody else. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Everybody has to eat off what I get. I can go out and sell the same stuff and make the profit. And I learned this in telecommunications. Many people would leave telecom, start their own LLC, and go make a contract with the company they used to work for, MCI, AT&T, Quest, whatever, and buy time in bulk and go sell it to their very customers that they did when they worked for the organizations. They were making 10 times more money selling the same product to their former customers
American Air
at a better price because they were in business. See, most of us were taught how to be labor in this Prussian school
Center
system.
on
We were taught how to
120.25
pull the
American
lever,
Air
push the button,
889er.
make the sausage. We weren't taught to be entrepreneurial minded and go out and build your own stuff and do your own thing. I actually have to impress that.
Center American Air
to go to
889er
school
at
and
flight
other kind
level
of things. So
360.
it was always something that made sense to me.
American Air 889er,
because
good morning.
At the end of the day, the biggest thing with being an entrepreneur is if you're not making money, you're not in business. And coming from a sales background, I knew I could always make money. It's just what was I going to sell? That was pretty much it. So.
Gotcha.
So you realize that like working for corporate America, you're taking a big cut, and no matter how much you work, it was never going to be enough to get you where you want to go.
Well, it's not like it was back when the CEO made 100 times as much as the lowest paid worker. Now you got CEOs making millions and wages have been flat. It doesn't take a brain surgeon or rocket scientist to understand that you can fly first class, live a cushy life, but there's no real job security. And just like anything, you get tired of running as a salesperson and closing deals. Well, what happens if you don't want to become a manager and you're tired of being a salesperson? What's the alternative? You make too much money to go anywhere else. So it just makes sense to start your own business. And it made perfect sense because, hey, I knew enough about the business to realize that starting a boutique advertising agency I was selling the same products to the same companies that I was selling over here, and I had more access. So that's why I'm such a big proponent of sales. If you're going to be in business, you have to have somebody in charge of sales. Everybody knows the stuff, the core competencies, but until you can go out and drum up new business, make business, you're not really in business.
Yeah, yeah. If you're not making money, then quite frankly, it's a hobby. You know what I mean? It's not a business.
That's it.
So I'll say this because you were able to transition and use social media to propel your business. You've been on World Star. You were on World Star yesterday, matter of fact. You've been on it twice now, featured. Your YouTube is going viral.
Urban Central as well.
Yep.
Urban Central.
So can you tell us a little bit about like the importance of a digital footprint and how that's helped you with your business endeavors? Obviously, you're a high-level image consultant, but has that how much more traffic has that driven? How has it helped your entrepreneurial pursuits?
Well, when I started my business, strangely enough, you have to know the market you're in, okay? And in my business, it's a visual market.
Yep.
And being an image consultant, people want to be able to see that you know how to put things together.
Yep.
They want to check out your prices, check out your credentials. People want to kick the tires. So, excuse me. Being an image consultant, telling people that your image is 4 parts, guys. A, B, C, D. Appearance, behavior, communication, digital footprint.
Bam.
Digital footprint is the most long-lasting, probably the most important of the 4 after the 7 seconds. Because everyone, when they meet someone today, is going to look at their LinkedIn, their Facebook, their Insta, their this, their that. And you have to have a consistent personal brand strategy across all of your media. You are you're the same person, but you have a different reason for going to each social media platform. Case in point, you go to Facebook to connect with your friends and family members and things like that if you still use it. If you go to Instagram, it's more for immediacy, these things. But you go to TikTok, it's for something different.
Yes.
But then when you go over to Snap, it may be for something different. And then go over to YouTube, it's more for long-form content. Well, you can't have the same thing in all these different places.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you do, it shows a lower level understanding of who people are when they're on these things. But if you have something customized for Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, it shows that you as more of a savvy digital player, which raises your value in people's eyes.
Yes.
That is so true, man, because if you take YouTube content, because I've noticed that I've done experiments, I'll take like YouTube clips and I'll put on Instagram. It doesn't do nearly as well at all. You know what I mean? But if you just use something that you actually created for Instagram, that's more, I guess, how do I say, it's easier to consume on that platform, you're going to get more reach. And nowadays with social media, everything it is, engagement is the name of the game.
Right.
How long can you keep someone on the app? The more you can keep someone on the app, the further the algorithm is going to push you to other audiences. So that's very true what you were saying.
Yeah, Facebook did that. I don't know how long. If you've been around as long as I have, Facebook made a critical move in 2015 that Twitter did not do. Facebook slowed down organic reach. Used to be if you had 5,000 friends, if you made a post, you would go out to all 5,000.
Yep.
Facebook automatically thought it back and said, no, we're only going to send it out to 10%. And if you want to reach those other 10%, you got to pay us.
Right.
Twitter didn't do that. So people were getting overloaded on Twitter.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, and with their purchase of Instagram, is not quietly, became the best place to market a personal brand. And the attention is underpriced. If you know who Gary Vee is, he preaches this all the time. Attention is currency.
Yes.
And you have to be able to, if you can grab someone's attention, keep it, that is valuable. Which, as we kind of get into this show, which is even weirder, like my show being 2 hours, 3 hours long, doing the numbers it does.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
And at the time too, like, you go on late and you're still getting like 5, 7, 8,000 live viewers. It's crazy.
But when I'm sitting in that chair, I'm a salesperson and an entrepreneur. But what you're seeing is a salesperson who knows how to present to a group, how to talk to this person, or build rapport with this person. Remember what's going over here. Understand why I got to get in the process, because if you don't sign the contract, all this shit was for nothing.
Yep.
Bam.
And I'm glad you said that, because I feel like most people forget about Facebook, but Facebook ads is one of the most powerful tools to get your name out there.
Oh, yeah.
People like put it under the rug. But I want to ask you, brother. So, in my humble opinion, right? I believe that you're a good example of putting your brand out there and brand awareness. But let me ask you, when it comes to Instagram, how important is that for your brand and for networking?
Well, Instagram is your new phone number. You meet somebody out. Hey, how you doing, Blondie? How you doing? You're not gonna get a phone number. What's your IG?
Yes.
Okay. And Instagram, you have to understand why Instagram works for women, because they are social and they can actually get a lot of information there.
Bam, yeah.
And how your page is laid out. I actually went and scrubbed my entire Instagram page, took it all down, and actually went and got the right kind of app to create a good story, to take a picture, to cut it up into 9 sections and post it on the.
So your feed looks good too.
Because I could take you to a 5-star, I'll take you to a nice restaurant, I'll take you to a great restaurant.
Yep.
Well, I tell you it's a great restaurant. And I bring out, do you like seafood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shrimp.
So I take you out to a restaurant and tell you they have the best seafood. And the shrimp comes out and it's in the mashed potatoes, the salads kind of touching the mashed potatoes. It's all just kind of put together.
Yeah.
It's not plated very well.
Yeah.
I mean, and you without looking at it, it tastes good, but you look at it, it's not visually appealing. One of the most important things about food is the plate presentation.
Very true.
All right. How is your Instagram plated?
Yo, I'm a soundbite that one. That was excellent.
No, that's that, bro. That is so true, because when you look at it, when you go to a high-end restaurant versus like a mid-tier or lower-tier restaurant, one of the biggest differences is presentation.
Yep.
You know, quite frankly, you're paying for the experience and you're paying for the presentation and the the exclusivity, a little bit more care with your food, etc. So presentation is very important.
When I started waiting tables at Papado, the uniform was a white shirt, black vest, white apron, and a red bow tie. All right. I made sure that my white shirts were starched. My apron was starched. My uniform was pressed. My pins were all the same color and aligned. There's some people who look like they pulled their shirts out between the cushions. My presentation put money in my pocket. When I came over to your table, I wasn't, hey, how you guys doing? And so forth. Welcome to Papado. My name is Kevin. How may I help you? Even though I would wait on people I know, and I don't know you. You're a customer. I've had people like, man, why you're a customer? Because I don't want you to tip me like you know me. I want you to tip me for my professional service.
Bam.
It's always about human beings are visual, and we look at something and we perceive it to be higher value or respect it more. So if you actually have Instagram working for you like a tool, like your image is a tool, helping you get the outcome you want. Why are you on Instagram to begin with? What is the outcome you want to achieve? And is your Instagram lined up or plated to get you that outcome?
Kevin, you just said in a nutshell what I try to tell guys all the time. Look, use it correctly. Don't just post you bathroom selfies of you in the bathroom. Don't just post you doing random stuff. Post with intention, because when you post with intention, you get results. And guess what? I tell guys all the time, right? You need to attract rather than chase. Because when you can attract people to you, you get way more benefit, and you can focus on what really matters is working on yourself as a man, making your money right, all that good stuff.
So real quick,
let me say something. Don't be afraid to. I went onto my Instagram because I had done it wrong. I went and got an app. What's called Unfollow or something like that. We can just do mass deletes.
Yeah.
American Air 889er expect the ILS approach to runway 08
and I said, okay,
right
I'm gonna
at
start with the
Miami
end in mind.
International.
It's like I tell most guys, live your life
Expect the
backwards from
ILS
your
approach to
obituary.
runway 08
All
right
if I had
American
10
Air
million
889er.
subscribers, how would my Instagram look? You start like that.
Bam. Man,
Good.
I'll go into the super chats real quick. This is a lot of game for you guys, man. We haven't even started talking about the women yet, man. All right, so Cam Gibson with the $4.99 super chat. Legendary men. Mr. Samuels in Miami. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. You guys should have seen the ladies that were giving them some looks. You know what I'm saying? My NY Kia with the $5 super chat. Kevin Samuels has been a revelation and a breath of fresh air, valuable knowledge, straight truth with no chaser, and the leather jacket game is fire. Thank you. I'm going to take that compliment.
All right.
Crank Chris with the $5 super chat. Fresh Fill with the Godfather, Kevin Samuels in studio. That's a powerhouse.
Nice.
Fire emoji. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Kyle Johnson, Godfather on deck, $5 super chat. Man, the people are loving you, Kevin.
Yep.
Guys.
And I just want to say this real quick. You guys, we did not rehearse any of that, guys. And you guys just heard it from Kevin straight. The importance of Instagram, social media, a digital footprint. Our course is live and closes tonight at midnight. DMs on demand, DMsOnDemandSystem.com, guys. Get in now. It's only $4.97. We're having a special price because for people, well, because we got Kevin here. We did it earlier with Donovan. So $4.97. Get in now, guys, because we're going to close this thing at midnight. The Zoom calls begin tomorrow, where we're going to do the secret sauce. Teach you guys how to network on Instagram, how to get girls, how to get exotic cars, all that stuff, man. So
Center American Air 889er at flight
we will
level
teach you guys that.
350. American Air 889er, good morning.
Good morning once again from the cockpit. As you've probably noticed, we've started our descent. We should be arriving in around 20 minutes, depending on local air traffic, and I will shortly be instructing the cabin crew to get the cabin ready for our arrival. After that, the seatbelt sign will be illuminated, and you'll need to stay seated until after landing. On that note, if you need to use a toilet, then you should try to visit one now, as they will be closed during the approach. You'll next hear from me after landing, so I will wish you a very good morning once again, and I'll speak to you in a short while.
American Air 889er, climb and maintain flight level 360. Climb and maintain flight level 360, American Air 889er. American Air 889er, expedite climb to flight level 360. Expedite climb to flight level 360, American Air 889er. American Air 889er, descend to flight level 280. Descend to flight level 280, American Air 889er. American Air 889er, you are off course. Turn right heading 030 to return to course. Heading 030 American Air 889er. American Air 889er, you are off course. Turn right heading 035 to return to course. Heading 035 American Air 889er. American Air 889er, descend to flight level 200. Descend to flight level 200 American Air 889er. American Air 889er, resume navigation. Resume navigation American Air 889er. American Air 889er, contact Miami Center on 132.4. Have a good one. Center on 132.4 American Air 889er. Center American Air 889er, descending to flight level 200. American Air 889er, good morning. American Air 889er, you are off course. Turn left heading 350 to return to course. Heading 350 American Air 889er. American Air 889er, turn right heading 040 vectors to the ILS, approach for runway 08 right at Miami International, descend and maintain 5,000 feet, altimeter not currently available. Contact approach on 124.85. Heading 040 vectors to the ILS, approach for runway 08 right, descend and maintain 5,000 feet, altimeter not currently available. Approach on 124.85 American Air 889er. Approach American Air 889er, descending to 5,000 feet.
American Air 889er, good morning. American Air 889er, turn right heading 045.
Heading 045 American Air 889er.
American Air 889er, turn right heading 050.
Heading 050 American Air 889er.
American Air 889er, turn right heading 055.
Heading 055 American Air 889er.
American Air 889er, turn right heading 060.
Heading 060 American Air 889er.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please can you clear all items from the aisle and under your seat, and place your seats and trays in the upright position. Please fasten your seatbelts and remember to turn off all electronic devices until after landing. Thank you. Señorías, estamos a punto de aterrizar. Por favor, puede limpiar todos los artículos del pasillo y debajo de su asiento, y colocar sus asientos y bandejas en posición vertical. Abróchese los cinturones de seguridad y recuerde apagar todos los dispositivos electrónicos hasta después de aterrizar. Gracias.
American Air 889er turn left heading 040 descend to 3,000 feet.
Heading 040 descend to 3,000 feet American Air 889er.
American Air 889er you are 14 nautical miles west of Miami International Airport. Fly heading 060 cleared for ILS to runway 08 right contact tower on 118.3 good morning.
Fly heading 060 cleared for ILS approach to runway 08 right tower on 118.3 American Air 889er.
American Air 889er altimeter not currently available. Contact tower on 118.3. Enjoy your morning.
Altimeter not currently available. Tower on 118.3 American Air 889er. Tower American Air 889er inbound for ILS approach runway 08 right. American Air 889er good morning. Continue ILS to runway 08 right call when established on final. Continue ILS approach to runway 08 right will call when established on final American Air 889er. American Air 889er slow to 250 knots or less. Wilco American Air 889er.
Hello? Hi, Captain. All passengers are seated and secured for landing.
Thank you.
If you let me know when you're ready to land, I'll make sure the rest of the crew are seated and ready.
We're almost ready, actually, so you can take your seats now.
No problem. All stations, landing positions, please.
American Air 889er winds are calm cleared to land runway 08 right. Clear to land runway 08 right American Air 889er.
Delta 5, contact ground 127.5. Banking. 1,000. Visual 162 Tower, good afternoon. Wind 330 at 5, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Clear land 16 left, visual. Traffic is downfield, runway 22 left, clear to land. Clear to land, 22 left, emergency 250. Again, to 518, number 2, following traffic on the short final, runway 22 left, clear to land. Clear to land, 22 left, again 518. Tower, Zeppelin, 5-mile final, 22 left. 5262 Tower, following Embraer, traffic 1 mile final, wind 250 at 9, runway 22 left, clear to land. Right, 22 left. Scott 1346 Tower, good afternoon. Wind is 330 at 8, runway 16 left, cleared to land. South 882 Tower, good afternoon. Wind 350 at 10, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Clear to land, 16 right, southwest 82. And a 526 Tower, good afternoon. Wind 350 at 6, runway 16 left, cleared to land. And 7453, visual 127. 7453 Tower, good afternoon. Following company 6 miles ahead, wind 340 at 8, runway 16 right, cleared to land. What's the factor wind south 7453? West 1346, exit either high speed, continue via Foxtrot and contact ground 127.5. Southwest 882, turn left at the next high speed, continue via Delta 5, contact ground 127.5. High speed, Delta 5, ground. 26 Tower, good afternoon. Wind 350 at 6, runway 16 left, cleared to land. West 1346, exit either high speed, continue via Foxtrot and contact ground 127.5. Southwest 882, turn left at the next high speed, continue via Delta 5, contact ground 127.5. High speed, Delta 5, contact ground.
American Air 889er exit runway when able.
Scott 1346 Tower, good afternoon. Wind is 330 at 8, runway 16 left, clear to land.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our destination. Señorías, hemos llegado a nuestro destino. The local time is 12:03 a.m. La hora local es a las 12:03 de la noche. It's currently a lovely and warm 27 degrees Celsius outside, that's 81 Fahrenheit. Hace mucho frío afuera, menos 12 grados centígrados. Eso es solo 10 Fahrenheit, así que asegúrate de usar abrigos gruesos y guantes. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you, and please use caution when opening the overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during the flight. Por favor, revise alrededor de su asiento cualquier pertenencia personal que pueda haber traído a bordo con usted y tenga cuidado al abrir los compartimentos superiores, ya que los artículos pesados pueden haberse desplazado durante el vuelo. If you require deplaning assistance, please remain in your seat until all other passengers have deplaned. One of our crew members will then be pleased to assist you. Si necesita asistencia para desembarcar, permanezca en su asiento hasta que todos los demás pasajeros hayan desembarcado. Uno de los miembros de nuestra tripulación estará encantado de ayudarle. Please remain seated until the aircraft reaches the gate. The captain will turn off the seatbelt sign once it's safe to get up. Permanezca sentado hasta que el avión llegue a la puerta y lo descargaremos lo antes posible. Thank you. Gracias.
Cabin crew, doors to manual, please.
Southwest 882, turn left at the next high speed, continue via Delta 5, contact ground 127.5. Scott 1346 Tower, good afternoon. Wind is 330 at 8, runway 16 left, clear to land.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Hi, Captain. Microphone check, please. You're loud and clear. 5 over 5. Roger. Okay, Captain. Ground power is go. Stand by. We'll start getting you offloaded in a couple of minutes. Cabin crew, the aircraft is secure. Please open the doors when ready and begin deboarding. Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to wish you a safe onward journey and hope you enjoyed your flight today. Thanks for flying with us and we hope to see you again soon.
Delta 5, contact ground 127.5.
Hello.
Hi. We're all done back here. Everyone's offloaded. Not sure how I feel about your landing. I'm just glad the seatbelts work.
Yes, we're sorry about that.
Just give me a buzz if you need anything.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead.
Just a reminder, if you're using software to track your virtual airline flight, you may want to finalize your flight now if you haven't already done so.
Roger.
Again, 518, number 2, following traffic on the short final, runway 22 left, clear to land. American 2023, push Alpha 21.
American 2023, your pushback approved and biased for taxi.
Third push, American 2023.
Tower, JetBlue 262, 5 mile final, 22 left.
Go to 262 Tower, following Embraer traffic, 1 mile final, winds 250 at 9er, runway 22 left, go to land.
Go to land 22 left, JetBlue 262.
Tower, Skywest 1346 with you, visual 16 left.
Sky 1346 Tower, good afternoon. Wind is 330 at 8, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
16 left, clear to land, Skywest 1346.
South 882 Tower, good afternoon. Wind 350 at 10, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Clear to land, 16 right, southwest 882.
And the 526 Tower, good afternoon. Wind 350 at 6, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Clear to land, 16 left, United 526.
Tower, South 453, visual 16 right.
South 453 Tower, good afternoon. Following company 6 miles ahead, wind 340 at 8, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
16 right, clear to land, Southwest 453.